dropped off my son at school and his friend, and now I'm waiting to get out of the drop-off lane. Happy Monday. It's March 12th. We are almost halfway through March, you guys. Like, that is crazy. And tomorrow, no, it's not tomorrow, it's in 2 days. 2 days is Pi Day, which we don't really actually celebrate Pi Day, but it's really fun to be like, it's Pi Day. So I'm on my way to the school today. I'm really excited to go in. I didn't go last Thursday because I had my test, and I just feel like it's been a really long time. And so I'm really excited to go in today. And also to be able to tell the teacher, like, I passed all my tests. Because I did. I passed all my tests. Every last one of those tests on Thursday last week. I have one more test this Friday, so I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'm really close. And I'm studying for this other test, but I'm not nearly as nervous as I was for the other test. But I also put the same amount of effort and the same amount of studying and all of that jazz into this test to guarantee that I pass it the first time. But this Friday I'm taking my certification for special education, like my teaching certificate, certification special education test for mild, moderate disabilities. It's what I'm taking on Friday. So that's the plan. And then after that, after I pass that test, I just have to finish my observation hours, and then I'm into student teaching after I'm done student teaching. And after I'm done creating my portfolio and all that jazz, I am done. Which, like, I feel like every week it's like, oh my gosh, I am so much closer. I'm still, however, waiting to hear back about placement for my other half of my student teaching. I still haven't heard back from that yet, and I'm thinking it's gonna be at least another few weeks to a month or so before I hear back, so I'm not trying to get my hopes up that I'm hear anything back anytime soon. But I am waiting to hear back from them. This weekend, I started really putting a lot of thought into how I want to have my classroom library, which it seems silly that I'm thinking about it right now, but I'm the kind of person who really likes to think ahead. And I may not know what grade level I'm teaching, but I'm really hoping to be between 3rd and 5th grade. And so I'm picking books that are between 3rd and 5th grade right now. And it won't hurt me to have them, and if I end up teaching a younger grade level, then I can still have most of the books that I've chosen. I'll just have to also add in a lot more picture type books to my library. But I made a wish list on Amazon for a bunch of books, and I know I could get them used, like gently used and stuff like that. But I'm also the kind of person, I like anything's new. Maybe it sounds snobbish, but I like anything's new, especially for like the classroom and stuff like that like this, because I want it to start off new so that, you know, the kids are going to use them. I am not under any circumstance have a film over my eyes or anything about the fact that they will get used. They will pretty much get abused probably at some point, and hopefully they're loved. But I also wanted to make sure that they started off as pristine as humanly possible, so that as they get used and stuff, it's not that they started off used already and then they just get worse from there, kind of a thing. So I've been putting thought into how I want to organize things, and I did find a website called Book Source Classroom Organizer, which you can put all of your books, like scan them into this program, and it's free. It's completely free. And then your students, there's like a password that you would give your students, like your classroom username and then a password that you can give the students, and they can check out books from your classroom library as if it was like an actual library. So I'm going to use that, and so as I get books, I actually have some in my Amazon cart right now, and I think maybe by the end of the day I'm gonna order them because I have some money right now. Because as I have extra money kind of here and there, I'm gonna start getting my classroom supplies. I'm gonna start getting my library books for my classroom library, so that by the time I am going into teaching, when I only have like about a month or so left, I'm not like scrounging to find everything that I need. So I'm gonna start getting all of the supplies now so I don't have to deal with that later, kind of a thing. So that's the plan. So I think I'm gonna get oh, which ones are they? Which I just realized I don't think I brought my phone with me. It's a good thing I have my watch, which I haven't been getting text messages on my watch if I don't have my phone, which is not cool. Maybe I can find it on here. Just means I have to text my husband and be like, I might not get your text messages if you send me any because I don't have my phone with me. I forgot it. Which I do that, but I have my watch so I can call him, so it's not a big deal. I'm trying to see what's in my cart, what kind of books. So I have the Percy Jackson books in my cart, all 5 of them, and then the Wayside School box set. Because my husband said that he really liked Wayside School when he was younger. And if you guys know, is the books that we liked when we were younger, are they still, I don't want to say pertinent, but are they still like popular today? Like, are these the kind of books that were like classic and will never go out of style kind of a thing? Or do I need to be looking for series and books also, which I was looking yesterday for book series and stuff that are more current, not as old as me kind of a thing, because I feel like sometimes I feel old. But yeah, so I'm here. I'm gonna go in. Plan is this morning to get through a few more of the teacher interview questions. I'm also, I was gonna take a picture. Well, I guess I could have my camera. I could take a picture with that of the Lexa, or I have my iPad. I can take a picture with my iPad, which is really silly. But I honestly don't like taking pictures with the camera that I'm vlogging with, because it's my vlogging camera. It's not like a picture camera. So yeah. Well, I will talk to you guys later, and I'll let you guys know how today went. I'm still not necessarily writing in my field journal because I am studying for my test, which I'm trying to see if I even have my papers to study. I do. I have them. They're right here. So I'll bring these in so I can study during recess, because we stay in for recess today. As teachers, the kids go out, but we get to stay in on Monday and Wednesday. So I will see you guys later. Bye. Okay. Another day done. Buckling up. Principal's right outside the school right now. They've been looking into, I know they've been looking into this since I started here, getting cameras for the outside of the school, because even though it's a really good area and everything, for some reason here, they've still had issues with vandalism. I don't think anything's happened as of late, but they have had issues with that in the past. So, today was a day. Went in, I asked a few more of the interview questions to the teacher, just because I'm trying to not take up like all of the morning time asking questions and stuff like that. And there's 13 questions, and they spark conversation, and so we talk about them and stuff like that. So it's really nice. I'm learning a lot with those. I even told her about, starting to plan for my classroom library, and I told her about the resources that I was learning about this weekend with Booksource, and it's called Book Wizard as well. So with those two things, like, I think that's how I'm gonna end up doing my classroom library and organizing things. And then I'd have to get like labels and stuff like that, but for the most part, that's the main meat of it, I guess. So we talked about that. And then before, like at the beginning of school, I need redirection. But today, instead of just working with the two up front, because we weren't necessarily reading the story quite yet, I was just kind of walking around the classroom, making sure that people were staying on task and focused to what was going on around them. And then it was reading groups, and I'm gonna be honest, today did not go well. It did not go well. We got through maybe 2 pages of the book. Like, we finally finished the first chapter after 3 days, and the chapter was only like 8 pages long. And it's because it was just constant interrupting, constant just disruptive behavior, and just constantly doing that. And so I talked to the teacher at the end of reading group today, and I was like, since reading group is like right before recess, can I have them owe me time? Like, for every minute that they waste of mine, they will owe me a minute of their recess. And I'm like, it's sad, but it's gonna have to be the entire group. I'm like, I do have, you know, a couple students that, like, they're doing decently, but they're still disruptive at times. Like, no one student is perfect in the group. Like, not one student. And so I'm going, and she said, yes, try that. And so that's what I'm gonna try. Because the reward system, I don't think they really care. Like, they just think I'm gonna give them the reward, which I'm not. Like, they're not going to be checking off today because it was not good today. And so I'm gonna start having them do that too. They're gonna owe me time. I'm going to start a stopwatch. Like, I will bring my phone and I will start a stopwatch and pause it every time they are good. And then as soon as they start becoming disruptive again, I'll start the stopwatch again. And we'll see at the end how much time they will owe me. They might end up owing me an entire recess. And, you know, that'll be okay. Because eventually, they will learn that they need to not necessarily tell each other to be quiet, but they need to hold each other responsible. And realize that one person's action in the group could cause a consequence for everyone. So that's what we're doing. And then after that, it was recess, and I stayed in and talked to the teacher a little bit more about my reading group, making sure that that was okay and everything. Like, it was a rough reading group day. I need to charge my battery when I get home. So I need to hurry up here. And then after recess, they came in and they did some silent reading in their reading street book, and then they took a spelling pretest, and then it was the end of the day. So it was just, the class was very chatty today. It was just it was an off day. And I think it was because of Monday and because of daylight savings, and it was an off day. And the teacher also informed them that she will not be here on Thursday or Friday, so that kind of threw them off because her son's getting married. And so I don't know how that's going to play a role in my observation log. I might just not record Thursday. Like, I'll tell you guys about it, but I might not record it in my actual observation log since the teacher of record won't be there. That's probably what I'll end up doing. And it's not like I'm going to be hurting for days by doing that. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's pretty much all for today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I will charge my camera. I was actually thinking today, I'm like, I should probably charge my camera. And I should have, because it's time. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go home, make dinner for my family, take my kids to school, and then go to work tonight and stay at work until midnight studying for that test. So we will get it all done. Get it all done. Just gotta turn and then I'll disconnect with you guys. Oh, other random, before I disconnect, I am getting stuff from my classroom today in the mail. I'm getting my book, some crate bins, like classroom organizer bins, and what's the other thing I'm getting? I can't remember, but it's something for the classroom. Oh, my teacher's toolbox. I'm getting my teacher's toolbox today. I'm gonna get something else really big. And then tomorrow I'm getting my laptop case, and I'm also getting my binder clips. So I'm really excited. I'm getting those within the next 2 days. And then I'm also probably placing an order for books here in the next couple days to start building my classroom library and a couple other things. I just, every 2 weeks or so when I get paid, I'm just gonna start getting a few things here and there so that like I said, by the time I start teaching, I will have most everything that I need. So, super excited to pull into home. The camera still has not died yet. I'm in shock, actual shock here. But yeah, so I'm really excited to get all that today, which means it will probably end up being a box in front of my house because, well, the teacher toolbox I believe is too big for our mailboxes. So, and dark, focus. There we go. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys are gonna have a great week. Happy Monday, happy whatever day it is that I upload this. It'll probably be at the end of the week again, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Good morning, everyone. Today is March, let me turn this off really quick, March 13th, and I am on my way to the school. I did some math yesterday, and I found, which I knew this part, I am done with my active participation hours. So I have more than 15. I'm not required to have any more, which I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter. I also found that by the end of this week, I will have done 55 just observation hours, which means by the end of next week, I will be done with technically my observation hours. Again, doesn't really matter because I'm going to keep doing it till the end of the school year. So, but I just thought it was interesting that I am like done with my actual hours, which means as soon as I watch all these videos back and get all the field journals written, and as soon as I do all the other work for the class, I can just submit the task or submit the assignment and be done with that, which means the only thing I would have to just wait for is to do my student teaching. So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm now giving myself to like the end of April, which that's a pretty good goal there, the end of April, to get it all done. So I'm pretty excited. I'm tired today, you guys. So I stayed at work until midnight again. First of all, I was on a phone call until like 11:10, which doesn't seem like too far over my shift, but when you're done at 11:10, it seems like a lot. And then I stayed until midnight to study for my test. And then when I came home, my 3-year-old son was sleeping on my side of the bed. My husband did say that I could wake him up and he would sleep on the couch so that I could sleep in our bed. But he just looked so peaceful that I didn't want to wake him up. So I let him sleep in our bed and I slept on the couch, which meant I didn't get the best sleep in the world. And then he woke me up around 6 o'clock. He was like, we can go lay down. And he's like, all the kids are awake, so you can go lay down in our bed for the next hour. So, and then he let me sleep until 7:15. I don't know if he woke me up at 7 and I asked for 15 more minutes, or if he just let me sleep until 7:15. Either way, I am very appreciative because I was very tired. And I didn't actually like fall asleep until closer to 1. So. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to report. I'm still waiting to hear back from my secondary placement for student teaching. I haven't heard anything, which means my placement person hasn't heard anything yet. And so I'm wondering if he's going to reach out to them again here soon, or if he's going to reach out to a new school to see if I can get placed there. All I know is I hope that something happens soon. Either I'm denied going there or I'm not. Just because we need to kind of move on. I feel like we're wasting our time just sitting around and doing nothing. So I'm hoping we do that. Today I have bus duty. Let me check the temperature. It's 30 degrees. So it is kind of cold. But I have bus duty today. So I gotta go out and do that today. And then we have recess duty, so I have to go outside for recess duty. Unless my reading group decides to not behave, and then they will owe me their recess. Because I'm just tired of them not listening and not behaving. So. I'm also, before school, gonna go through a few more questions for that teacher interview. And then, hopefully, she's not gonna be here Thursday or Friday. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I have all of those questions answered. And then there's another section where I would have to be like observing her. But I think I've observed her enough that I could just kind of fill it all in. So we'll see how that goes. That's pretty much it. Not much to report here this morning other than the fact that I'm really tired and I just want to kind of go home and go to bed. And I can't. I have to push through it all day. But I will see you guys tomorrow, and not tomorrow, after school. And I'll tell you everything that goes on. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So, bye. Okay, another day in. It was a good day. So much better than yesterday. I think yesterday was just a really bad case of the Mondays. We all had just really bad cases of the Mondays yesterday. So let me pull out and I will talk to you guys all about it. Okay, so I started off the day, went in, got through another couple questions on the teacher interview, and the teacher interview is really causing, I'm wondering if this is one purpose of the teacher interview. It's really causing the teacher that I'm with to really reflect on her own practices in her classroom. So she actually requested for me to like print out a copy of the interview so that she can really ponder and think about the questions and really see what she can improve on herself as a teacher. So I did go get through like 2 more questions on there before we both had bus duty today. She is filling in for somebody else because she's not going to be there on Friday, so they kind of swapped days. So I went out to bus duty, and the teacher that I am going to be with next year for my student teaching was out there, and so I went up and I said hi, and she was shocked to see me there, and she explained again that, you know, I'm doing my observation hours and I'm going to be here till the end of the school year. She asked what she can do for me to like start preparing for student teaching, And I was like, well, what kind of curriculum are you going to be on during that time period, so I can kind of take a look and figure some things out and pull together some resources, and then when we get together and we're about to start, I can go over kind of what I have, see what will fit into the day, that kind of situation. So I'm really excited. Really excited. So I went to her classroom, I wrote down some of the standards and stuff, that some of the curriculum that they'll be going over, so that I'm able to kind of take a look into it and see, kind of feel it out. Because like I said, I have a while before I start. Not a while, like less than 6 months, which is crazy to think. It's also crazy to think that I've only been in this term of school, because I go to 6 months, my terms are in 6 months. And this, I'll explain all of this when I do like an actual sit down and talk about WGU and how it works kind of video. But our terms are 6 months long, and they can start any month. So my terms go from August to the end of January, and then February to the end of July. And so I'm only in my 2nd month of my term, and I'm almost done with my observation hours. I've already taken one of my praxis exams and passed it, and I'm taking my other one this Friday. So I'm like really on ahead of schedule, I guess you could say, with my classes this term. And I'm almost done with what I need to get done. So it'll be nice to take that rest of the time to really like build up and lesson plan and figure out different things for when I go into the school to do my student teaching. So that was all before school. When class started, I am starting to, instead of do redirection, I'm starting to pull students out during the beginning of the day and do reading one-on-one with them, and like just checking for their fluency and comprehension and stuff like that. So we go over certain things, and you know, I'm like, you need to slow down, like really just work one-on-one with students that are having a harder time with reading. Sorry that it's so like dark. I guess the sun's like just the right spot. So we did that, and then it was reading groups, which was so much better today. So much better today than it has been. They came in, yet again, I went through expectations, and I explained to them, and I talked to your teachers, and we've agreed that for every minute you waste of my time here in reading group, I take away from recess, and you'll make it up to me. And I'm like, and that counts for if one student is being disruptive or anything, the entire group stays in. And so you saw them really quickly change their attitudes and get to work and follow along and do what they were told and stuff like that. We still had fun. I'm still about having fun. But we did it in a manner that wasn't disruptive and stuff like that. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. Then after that, it was recess time. I ended up staying inside, which I was planning on going outside, but we had some kids taking reading counts quizzes, and then they just learned about this website called Prodigy, which actually helps with like math skills and stuff like that, and it's like an avatar type game. And so they think they're just playing games, and they're really progressing in their math skills and stuff like that. And they really love it. And so after some of them were done taking their reading counts quizzes, it was kind of too late for them to go out for recess. So they started playing Prodigy. And I'm gonna look more into Prodigy and see what I can find out about it. And also into the reading counts program, because if I am in the Cache County School District, I think it's something that all Cache County does. I really want to learn more about this reading counts, and like pretty much kids read books, and each book is assigned as it has a quiz to it, and most books have quizzes to them. And then you can go on and you can take the quiz, and each quiz has a certain number of points that you can gain. And if you gain so many points, you move up in levels with the reading counts program. And you get a certificate. They have reading counts assemblies where they pass out progression certificates and stuff like that. So that's kind of reading counts. After recess, they were doing, they're getting ready to do SAGE testing. And in SAGE testing, they have to write a complete essay in about 45 minutes. So they have to, they get a writing prompt, they get a couple essays, they need to read through them, and they need to write an essay in that 45 minutes. And right now it's been taking them a good 2-3 days to write a complete essay, which is totally fine. But for the testing purposes, it needs to be faster. So they're starting to get essays, so a writing prompt, the articles, and then they're expected to write within about 45 minutes before lunch. They're expected to write a paper. And this is just to get them prepped for SAGE testing. Which again, it's sad that, you know, students have to learn how to take a test and do practices like this for tests. I mean, it will help with their writing skills and everything. I just find it sad that they have to like take this time to do that, to just learn how to take a test. But I am home, so I'm gonna go inside, make sure my son's ready for school because he has therapy, speech therapy in about 30 minutes. So we have to leave here in about 20 minutes. So I will talk to you guys later. And maybe at the end of each month, I might even start doing like haul videos for what I'm gathering for my classroom library in my classroom. Because I did get my teacher's toolbox yesterday, and I also got some organizing crates, which I thought were going to be big enough for my reading group, but they're not. And so I'm going to have to look into like bigger crates for reading groups, because I want to have a few of those on hand. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. But I got a box from Amazon, and I just wanted to do like a super quick like unboxing kind of a thing and show you guys what I got. It's only like 2 things, super quick, but I'm really excited about these 2 things. So let me park my car and we will unbox. So excited that I brought my laptop, and I don't even really need my laptop today. But here we go. Let me make these. So here's my box from Amazon. Got a few things today in the mail. Like, we don't check the mail very often because all of our bills come to us electronically, and so usually it's just junk in the mail. So we rarely check it. Maybe once a week we check our mail. And usually it's when we think we're doing a package or something important that we actually check the mail. So it's all junk that we get. But we got some stuff from my husband's brother and sister-in-law, brother-in-law. They moved to Germany about 6 months ago, so they sent us a little like Easter package, and it has some like chocolate and stuff like that and some German candy in there. So I will show that to the boys probably tomorrow morning. And then I have a bark box, which I do have another channel which I have not been posting in at all, and I need to get better at it. And it's called Training Lily, an Autism Service Dog, because we have a dog and we're trying to train her to be an autism service dog for my 8-year-old, and so we get her a bark box every month and she loves it. So anyway, on to the unboxing. Bubble stuff. First thing in here, which makes me happy, and it's silly that it makes me so happy, but they are binder clips, and there are 100 of them in here, and they're different sizes, and they're like pastel colors. So there's pink and yellow, and it's like a green, but it's like more of a teal color, and then blue. And so there's just different sizes in here. There's big ones and small ones. There might be some medium-sized ones in there too. I think these are the medium-sized ones, and there's bigger ones in here. So it's just a package of 100 of those, and it's nice that it like zips up. And I'm super excited to like finally put together my teacher toolbox, like have the papers in there so I can start putting stuff like this in there. But I am gonna bring this to work because I have my study questions for my praxis test that I'm going to use one of these to binder clip it up because that's what I'm gonna do. And then the last thing in here, like I said, this is gonna be a super quick unboxing. It's a laptop cover. So I got one a week ago, and I realized after I got it, it was the wrong size. And I'm hoping that this is the right size. But it's just a nice flower laptop cover. And so I'm gonna put it on in there and I'll take a picture of it and show you guys. But that's all it is. So that's all I got. I'm super excited about them. So I'm gonna go in now and I'm gonna go to work. So thank you for joining me for one of these rare clips of me on my way to work and doing an quick impromptu unboxing of some stuff that I got in the mail today. So I will talk to you guys later and I hope you have a great day. Good morning. Pull out here. Okay, so today is March 14th. We're almost halfway through the month here. We're pretty much like in that halfway zone. I'm on my way to school. I'm hoping that I can get through a few more questions on that teacher interview. So if I could try to get it done before tomorrow, because she's not going to be here on Thursday. The teacher, her son's getting married, so she won't be at the school on Thursday and Friday, which means I'm still gonna go in Thursday, but I'm not gonna put it down into any of my records that I went in. And the reason for that, I'm going in because I'm in charge of a reading group, and it's a responsibility that I did take on, and so I'm going to finish that out until the end of the school year. But it won't be the teacher of record there, so I don't feel comfortable putting it in my observation log. So that's what's going on there. Trying to think of anything else that was going on either last night or today. So I was at work yesterday and I studied. I've been staying until midnight, so I'm off at 11, and so I stay that extra hour and I study for my praxis test that I'm taking on Friday. And so I'm feeling pretty good about it. There's still a few more things I need to go over, and today's the last day that I'm staying until midnight because tomorrow's Thursday and I want to get home as soon as possible so that I can get some sleep. So if I could leave early, I would prefer leave early. Like, I feel like I need a really good night's sleep so I can focus on the test. Kind of a thing. So yeah, there's that. And then, what was I? Oh, so I got a cover for my laptop, which is so pretty. I did a little brief unboxing, which I will have in this vlog just because why not. But it made it so that I can't use my adapter for my SD card on my laptop, so I'm gonna have to get a new adapter, and like for some reason it's not working anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get everything off of this and onto my laptop so that I can edit the video. And I might have to go about it the long way and try to get it all onto my desktop computer and then airdrop it to my laptop so that I'll have that. So might be what I have to do to get that done. But there will be a video next week. I don't know. I was thinking about this on my way to work yesterday. That I've never said in the past that I expect my YouTube channel to grow to the point that I can make money. I've always said I do it for different reasons. But I was going to work yesterday, and first of all, I don't enjoy work. I mean, you get the few and far customers in between that really appreciate the effort that you're putting into helping them fix their system. Yes, it's my job and stuff like that, but very few and far between do you really get people that are appreciative and just understanding of, you know, that it can take a while to fix problems with the security system and stuff like that. So, and I had, you know, a couple of those customers yesterday, which was really nice. It makes it a little bit more bearable to go to work when you have those customers. But on the way to work, I was thinking, why not try to make this channel grow, and why not try to just admit to myself that I do want it to make money, and not necessarily money to support my family or anything like that. But I was thinking, I'm like, how nice would it be if I can get this channel to grow to the point where I'm making, I don't know, I don't even know how many times videos have to be viewed to make this much money, but to make $500 a month. Let's just say $500 a month. Not a lot. I don't think that's a ton of money, but to the point where I can take that $500 and put it into my classroom. And so the money that I'm spending for my classroom isn't coming out of my paycheck, and it's not coming out of my husband's paycheck. Like, having this solely be a source for things for my students. And I'm like, you know, I think that is a really good goal. And I think, sorry, I didn't realize the music was going this entire time. I think that's a really good goal. I think that's something that I can definitely work towards. And I know it's going to take a long time to get there. And thank you for everyone who's starting out on this journey with me to get there. So if you can just like the video, if you're watching this, or share it if you find that you want to share it, leave a comment, do whatever you can. I really want this to take off, and I really wanted to take off for the sole purpose of putting everything that I would get from this channel into my classroom, into my classroom library and the supplies that my students are going to need, making sure I have a nice stockpile of pencils. For a while, the teacher in there did not have pencils for her students. Usually the district provides those, but there was a really big shortage in the warehouse, and so they did not have pencils. And it gets to the point at this point in the school year where teachers really just do not have the money to go out and buy pencils and stuff like that. Like, they need to be spending the money to take care of their families. A teacher's not getting a job just to put money into their classroom. They're getting a job to actually support themselves and to help raise their children and stuff like that. And so if I could find a way to make an extra income that can be solely for the purpose of stockpiling supplies and contributing to my classroom library and saving up money to get, you know, iPads and stuff like that for my students, I want to do that. Like, I want to give my students every possible way to succeed in my classroom. And if this is how I have to do it, I'm going to have that be my goal, and I'm going to do it. So, thank you for being here with me and following me along on this journey. I've had a couple new subscribers here within the last month, and I just want to say welcome and thank you for joining me. And I hope that, you know, this adventure can grow, and that the content on here will be more eventually than me just being in my car and talking to you guys. It'll be, you know, more sit downs and more actual vlogging style, like walking around and stuff like that. Just right now I don't feel comfortable bringing my camera into the school and recording because it's not my classroom. And so once I have my, which obviously isn't going to be next year either. But the story is going to change and progress. So right now I'm doing observation hours, and then I'm going to start prepping for student teaching. And I already have content that I can be looking up and starting planning lessons and stuff like that. And so I will take you along for that journey. And then it'll be the journey of student teaching, and then the journey of substitute teaching. What is it like being a substitute teacher? And then the journey of getting a job, and then the journey of prepping for my classroom and getting everything ready, and then actually being a teacher. So I'm really excited of what the future holds for me in this channel and for everyone here. And like I said, just thank you for joining me and coming along with me. So I'm gonna head on in, and I will talk to you guys afterwards. I will let you know how everything went, and we'll go from there. So bye. Okay. Buckling up, feather down. I didn't get any of the interview done today, and that's okay. I still have plenty of time because I'm going to be here till the end of the school year. I do want to get it done, however, by the time the kids are on spring break, because then that week I can kind of just work on typing everything up and submitting all of my stuff, so that when I come in after that, I can just be coming in to help out and not necessarily observe. So, but I don't know why I'm out of breath, but I am. The teacher's not going to be here for the next 2 days, so she was spending a lot of her time that she could getting things ready for a sub for 2 days, because her son is actually getting married. So she's going to go finish with preparations for the wedding, and then she's going to, you know, go to a wedding. So that's what's going on there. So I didn't get any of that done. I did today start doing reading fluency tests with students out in the hallway. I really enjoyed those. I don't know why, but like sitting there with the students, and I only did 3 students because I only had about 15 minutes or so really to work with the students on it. So I got to pull out 3 students one at a time. We went through it, gave them a minute to do their reading, and then I would mark off if there were any mistakes, kind of a thing. And then I would mark midweek where they were at, because they do a cold reading on Mondays, and so I was finding out where they were at midweek, some of them. I mean, if I could get through all of the students in 1 week to find out where they are, I think that would be helpful for the teacher to like actually see where students are at with like cold readings and midweeks, like somewhere throughout the week to find out where they're at. So, but I was doing that, and it was nice because we would do the reading, and then I would tell them, okay, these are where you made the mistakes, this is how you pronounce this word, or maybe you like, this sounds funny, but maybe you need to slow down so that you can read more. And they're like, what? And so I explained to them that they're reading so fast that they're stuttering over their words and their brain can't keep up. And so if they just slow down a little, as if they're just having a conversation, then they would actually not make as many mistakes, and so they'll be able to read more because they're not stuttering over words. And so they would do that. There's a car right there. They would do that, and they instantly gained another 10 words right after. And so a little bit more studying and stuff like that with the passage, they should be able to gain even more by the end of the week. So I'm tired today. So I did that before reset, before reading group. Reading group, starting to have a really big love-hate relationship with my reading group. Yesterday they were really good, And today it wasn't like horrible, but they've been better. And it was just a lot of redirection and stuff like that, but they weren't necessarily bad enough to where I'd be like, I need to keep them in from recess. It was just a lot of redirection, and we didn't get very far. And it's also, you know, there's a few students that pick on one student in particular, but other days I come in and it's like they're friends with her, but other days she comes in and she's just crying because she's getting picked on by them so much. So it's a really interesting dynamic, I guess you could say, that I was dealing with today. And so I'm trying to figure that all out. I talked to the teacher again about it. I'd be like I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm not saying we need to separate the reading group, but I don't know if, like, I don't know what to do at this point. So I'm gonna keep working at it. It's gonna be fine. Then after reading group, it was recess. And I don't even remember what I really did with recess during that time, because I didn't have to go out. I think I talked to the teacher about that one student, and then we were talking about the fluency, and she's like, I think I'm just gonna have you start doing that more, because she really wants to know, because right now she has other students grading each other on their fluency, and so that's not a really reliable source, because they're not necessarily grading it correctly. So I'm gonna start doing that more. And then after recess, she went over her expectations with the students for when there's a sub, because like I said, there's gonna be a sub for the next 2 days. She periodically was telling me things to let the sub know, because I'm there, I'm a normal now. So I'm gonna help the sub out as much as I can during that time. The problem is I leave at 11 o'clock, and so I'm not there the entire day to keep the kids on track and stuff like that, because I have other responsibilities that I have to take care of. So that was after, and then they started doing a worksheet on drawing conclusions, and I realized that it's really hard to describe how to draw like a conclusion on something, and describing that phrase that you need to read between the lines, that it's not necessarily written in the passage, the conclusion that you need to draw. Like it's not actually, like, you need to read and then inference things and draw your own conclusion, make up your own mind, kind of a thing, on what they're talking about or what's going on, kind of a thing. So that's what they did, and I left while they were still working on that worksheet. And so now I'm actually almost home, so I'm gonna go inside. I am starving. I'm going to find something to eat. Maybe I'll even find my Oreo cookies, because I had Oreo cookies, but then I left them out when I went to work yesterday, and I don't know where they are, so I don't know if I even have Oreo cookies anymore. So that's what I'm gonna do. And dark for a sec. I'm just gonna try to find something to eat, take my son to school. Then I have to prep dinner for tonight. I don't want to though, but I have to, so that my kids and my family have something to eat for dinner tonight. But it should be, I actually might be able to get my husband to do it himself tonight, because they're having cheesy pigs in a blanket. And tater tots. So I think I might be able to get him to do it himself. Hopefully. So, because I don't want to bake it right now, because it'll be nasty and cold. So he just has to like wrap it all up, but maybe I'll do all the wrapping up. I don't know. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm home. I will talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, even though I'm not going to record it like in my field journal experience tomorrow, I am going to record so that you still get the experience of me being in there and kind of keeping track of what's going on. I'm looking at the viewfinder, not the lens. I'm sorry, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. I am so tired. So today is the 15th. Beware the Ides of March. I feel like you have to say that on March 15th. I didn't say Happy Pie Day yesterday though. So Happy Pie Day yesterday. I hope if you can celebrate that you had some really yummy pie. I did not celebrate Pie Day. I don't have time to go get pies and make pies, and that holiday always just sneaks right on up on me. So last night I stayed at work until almost 12:30. I got off of a call late and I needed to study, and so I studied until everyone else was going home because I need to pass this test tomorrow, which I feel very good about, because when I was studying I was having other people read the questions to me so that I couldn't like look at the answers, and I knew the answers. Like, I didn't think I knew them, but I knew them, which was a really good feeling, because it's meaning that my studying and my staying up late and pushing myself really hard, I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time probably ever, good, let me just adjust it a little bit, there we go, it's a little better. I have never studied this hard for something in my life. Tests in school, I would get anxious about them, but they always came pretty easy to me in school. But these tests, it's not that they're hard, but I'm determined to pass them the first time. And so I'm like, study as hard as I can so I could do that. I did apply to come home early today, but based on how everything's been going this week with work, there's no way that they're going to let me come home early, because we've been in the queue for most of the day and it's just back-to-back calls most of the time. So there's no way that they're going to have me come home early. It is snowing outside. It is March 15th and it is snowing outside right now. I am not happy about this. It's more like snaining though, like it's that slush, very wetness type of thing. Anyway, so I talked to my supervisor yesterday and I'm like, how do you feel? I'm like, I have the occurrence points to take one and go home early tomorrow. How would you feel if I did that? Like, what are your opinions on it? And I explained the situation to him. I'm like, I need to get home. I cannot be on a call past 11 o'clock. Like, I cannot. And lately my calls, like, I get calls and there's like 5 things wrong. And so really, like, that last hour, I can't risk giving a phone call. And so he's like, well, what if I put you in coaching so you can be off the phones for the last hour of your shift? He's like, and then you can like YJAC QRF, which is another department, which would be nice if I could get into. And I learn a lot from them when I YJAC them, which is just listening on the phone calls that they're talking on. He's like, what if I do that for you so that you can leave at 11 o'clock and get home and get the sleep you need and be ready for your test tomorrow? And I was like, if you do that, I will stay until the end of my shift. I was like, if you can guarantee that I can go home at 11 o'clock, I will stay until the end of my shift. And so we're gonna do that. I can't risk it. Because I need to pass this test tomorrow. I'm here at the school. I haven't even talked really anything about today and what's gonna go on. She's not here today. She's not gonna be here today or tomorrow, but I'm not here tomorrow, so that don't matter to me as much. And it looks like we might have indoor recess today. So she's not here today, so there's just gonna be a sub. So the first 2 hours in the morning, I'm pretty much gonna be not running interference or anything, but like just really keeping the students on track and everything. I feel like I parked horribly. So, but I'm gonna go in because I actually did bring my laptop. I'm gonna plug in my laptop. I'm gonna start typing some things out. I might try to pull a few kids aside this morning during morning work and do the fluency test with them. And just hopefully I can be awake enough today that it'll be a good day. So I'm gonna go out there and brave the snow. So I will talk to you guys after school and check in with you guys and let you know how today went without the teacher. So, bye. Okay, and we're on our way home. This week is in the books. By the end of next week, I will be officially done with all my hours. I just have to type everything up, get all the information that I've already gathered, write up my field notes from watching these videos, and then I could submit the tasks. So submit my paper to the class, and then I could be done. I'm running a little bit late. I'm getting out. I feel bad because my husband has a one-on-one meeting with his boss, like a supervisor. So I'm hoping the kids aren't bugging him during that meeting. I'm trying to get home as fast as I can though. So as we all know, the teacher wasn't going to be there today. The class wasn't doing too bad. I mean, they're definitely a little chattier. The sub kind of gives off the attitude though of, you know, you can walk on them slightly and they can be a little chattier. And kids can read these things. And so of course, they're gonna be a little bit more chatty. So we started off with reading street. It's really interesting watching a sub come in and take over for the teacher. And so he was doing reading street. He was asking a lot of questions. A lot of the students were trying to get fidgety because he was just talking too much, and it was stuff that they already talked about during the week. And so, in a way, he almost was like talking about how he knew all these different languages somewhat, and he was trying to like talk in those languages. And it was kind of coming off a little show-offy. And I'm not trying to be negative with the substitute or anything like that, but this is how I perceived him, and this is how the students were perceiving him as well. And so they were getting bored with him. He wasn't very engaging, but he was a substitute. This is not his profession to teach. And so they were kind of getting bored with him. Like, some of the students came up to me, like, when are we gonna start actually reading the book? Like, they were getting bored. And then it was reading group. Oh, lovely reading group. I had one student absent. I had 2 students crying. And finally, we shut Bridge to Terabithia, not even getting through the first 2 chapters. We shut the book of Terabithia, and I put it away, and we are no longer reading it. So I need to kind of explain something here. I live in Utah. That's where I live. Utah is very, very much LDS heavy, I guess you could say. Like, I think that's the nicest way to put it. I am LDS. I am a Mormon. In the Mormon culture, and I'm going to say this right now because I couldn't talk about this with the students because of separation in church and state. I need to figure out how to go about this, talking with the students about this, especially when I have my own class. In the Mormon church, it is very heavily frowned upon because it is one of the 10 commandments to not take the Lord's name in vain. My car is like dripping. I don't know why. There's water coming from inside. Okay. To not take the Lord's name in vain. It is a sin. And they preach this very heavily to the children at a very young age, that you, Lord and God and saying them is bad. And so then you get them in school and they're reading a book and it says the word Lord. And it's not in the context of like praying to the Lord or anything like that. It's in the context of like, Lord, why does my sister get away with this and I don't? I have to do everything. So in that very like, I don't even know how you would say it, like that kind of style, like why kind of a thing. And because it keeps saying it, I have students crying because they feel like reading it, they don't even want to read out loud. They don't want to, because they're afraid of swearing. And it said the word bitches in the book. It said that. And no, I'm not going to bleep that out for you guys. And meaning like people would be complaining again, like, and they can skip over those swear words. I'm totally fine with that. But like, when Lord is not a swear word, God is not a swear word. They are not going to be struck down to hell for reading it in a book. But how do you explain that to a 3rd grader? How do you make them comfortable enough to read it? And I don't want to say that I need to destroy their innocence, because that's not the case. That's not it at all. Like, this book, not only is it, you know, a world book, very wonderful world book. It was written in an era where kids drank coffee and people smoked and drank alcohol while they were pregnant, and like, it was written in an era that those were all socially acceptable things to do. And how do you explain that to kids? How? But I got to the point where I couldn't. I had a student who was crying about the book. Another student who she was on the verge of crying about it. And I finally said, close your books, and I put it away. And I will find a new book. I've never actually finished reading that book or read that book, and I'm going to finish, because obviously it doesn't bug me. But how do you explain that? How do you explain all that to a kid? That was reading group. That was what I dealt with today. Then it was recess. We went outside. It's still like kind of raining, and we still went outside. So my feet are all wet and cold because I have holes in my shoes, because I spend my money on taking tests for school instead of shoes. And then we came inside. They read a little paper book about like big, biggest, and bigger, biggest, whatever that is. I can't remember what part of speech that is right now. And then they got computers and they're playing Prodigy, and I left a little bit late because I had to help everyone get signed on before I left. So I'm home though. It's gonna be a good day, but that's how I ended my week this week. I hope you guys liked this video. I know this one was pretty long. Eventually I will start getting more content up other than just these videos. And yeah. If you guys have any suggestions for how to explain that to this kind of culture where I'm at, all of that and stuff, please leave a comment down below. Any ideas are more than welcome. How do you explain that? Like, how do you go about explaining that? And then, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Want to say hi? Say hi. No, don't sit on my lap. Just say hi. I'm about to get out. Oh.
Hi, I'm Israel. And I
Your name's Jane Thomas Glassett, and you're 3 years old.
Every year.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And look at this. Bye.
Bye. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Hey guys. We're going to do another impromptu unboxing here at work before I go in, because I got another box from Amazon. Yay! I already know what's in it, and I'm so excited. Let's get this thing open. Which I kind of needed this today. I didn't want to come to work. Don't want to be here today. I'm tired. I've been kind of cranky. I did not want to be here. So I'm glad that this was in the mailbox to make my day somewhat better. Okay. So, first we got more, you know, bubble wrap stuff. Then we have, these are smaller than I thought they were going to be. That's okay. This up. I got some washi tape in different colors, which I thought it had black in here. I could have sworn it was supposed to have black. I feel like I'm missing one. Like one fell out. No, that's okay. I'll make it work. So my kids, here's the washi tape. The reason why I got this is my kids at home, it's for my calendar. They keep erasing my calendar, and so it's erasing the permanent marker lines that I drew. So I'm going to use this and make my lines. I made sure it was thin, stuff like that. So I'm gonna use this to make my lines. Put that back in. The next thing I got are hand buzzers. It's a set of 4 of them, and they're answer buzzers, and so each of them make a different sound. So it can be like a competition where, you know, a kid slaps down and you'll hear the different sound that it makes, and so you know that that person can answer the question, kind of a thing. I'm excited to use this in my classroom, and I also teach a class at church that I'm thinking that I might start bringing a couple of these to make it more engaging and fun and exciting for my class at church. So there's that. And then the main attraction of this order, well, this box, is the Percy Jackson book set. So I'm gonna actually go inside, and I'm super excited to like scan these into my classroom library and look up the Lexile levels and all that stuff. I did order contact paper to put on these, but I also have to print off some labels, which I don't know how I'm gonna label this book series yet. Trying to figure that out. I got from Pocketful of Primary her library labeling kit, which I really love, but I need to either email her and see if there's some way that we could do a Percy Jackson author or book series, or I need to figure out somewhere else to place them in my library, like to label them. So I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna bring this in to to scan and add to my classroom library, and that's all I got today. I have like I said, I have another set of books coming in, contact paper, and I think that's it. Those are the last 2 things from this order that are gonna be coming in at some point. So I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna set up my desk. I'm gonna hope that I get VTO because I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.